back on Tuesday. Remember, we're all off Monday for the Labor Day holiday. As we said in the last segment, we were talking about Mayor Martha Guerrero and her conversation on news radio. We forgive her. We forgive her for going on to the radio station about the potential of the A's or expansion or whatever, and baseball having a stadium in West Sacramento. She's nice enough to join us for the second time. Remember, we spoke to her the morning of the press conference when the A's were announced. And here she is, Mayor Martha Guerrero. Mayor, it's Carmichael Dave. How are you?
Carmichael Dave, good morning. Good. How are you doing?
Want to get some notes out of the way here real quick. Forgive me because I want to be respectful and formal. I'm sure you don't care, but I do. And this is my own ignorance. Is it Miss, Mrs., or Madam Mayor? I'm not sure what the proper nomenclature is. I really am not. I want to get it right.
Oh, my goodness. It's Martha. It's just Martha.
I had a feeling you'd say that. So you have been working hard as mayors should in improving the lives of those in the region, and you're obviously talking to somebody that is huge on Sacramento, whether west, north, south, or east, and bringing more and more here for everybody in this secret, if you will, to the rest of America of a wonderful place to live and raise a family. And your words yesterday came across my desk, and I think the headline here was that you believe it's possible for a 50,000 seat stadium, I think those are your words, to be built in West Sacramento. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. And I think, looking at the coming season, we're trying to make sure that everything is set in place for the A's arrival in their first season here in West Sacramento to be successful. And that's exactly what we want to accomplish first. We want to make sure that first opening day, everybody is set and ready to go.
So in order for that stadium to be built, I would imagine it is logical that would mean that either Las Vegas fell through and the A's were to stay here permanently. I imagine the backup to that would be an expansion team. So for either of those to come to fruition, we're more than likely looking at a little bit of time. So is this one of those? Are you trying to, because this is a very convoluted thing, as Kings fans know, getting this done. Are you just kind of trying to get the plan in place and get all the sausages made so that if that opportunity comes, you're going to try to strike right away?
I think that's been a vision for, the longest time, ever since what is now Sutter House Park has been built. We've had a vision to have a Major League Baseball team. So that's always been on our site. And, to have the Kings ownership, Vivek Ranjivi, express that interest, I was just ecstatic to hear that. And I love working with the Kings team and just want to be able to make sure that we have everything we have in place to be a great partner to make that happen.
Now, before I ask you the next questions, I want to lay out for the audience. A lot of us understand more than we should how these things work because of what we've been through, and things can change. Negotiations happen. And the mayor is, I'm sure, I don't want to speak for her. You can answer this, not in a position to get incredibly specific because, again, things might change and you don't want to get cornered. But the first question from me, as far as a stadium like that being built in West Sac. Now, I'm not a stadium builder, but I would say you're probably looking at $700 to $1 million to $1 billion, somewhere in that range. The Vegas one is 1.3 for a stadium that size. And to be honest, looking at the landscape, Mayor Steinberg's on his way out, and either Mayor Flo or Kevin McCarty, one of those two, is going to be the next Sacramento mayor. And Kevin McCarty voted no multiple times on an arena. What I mean there is they're already involved in the public-private partnership for Golden One Center. It does not seem in the future that there's going to be a huge appetite for public subsidy, at least coming from the Sacramento angle. So I guess, one, am I wrong there perhaps? And number two, is this something you're trying to maybe get built completely privately?
Well, that's a great question. And I think the land where Sutter House Park is placed has an enhanced infrastructure financing district which is unique to that part of both the Sacramento, West Sacramento side. And that's one of the reasons why it's grown very successfully as far as what you see happening on the Riverfront on the West Sacramento side. It's because of our enhanced infrastructure financing district and our ability to be able to make those investments through that process. And the land itself is just a beautiful landscape to, prepare a future for a Major League Baseball team to establish themselves there.
EIFDs, we won't get too deep in the woods there, but I would imagine accurately that provides you a little bit of financial, not freedom, but a few options that may not normally be available. In your vision, assuming I would imagine Vivek and the team are still involved, but you also have John Fisher. Who owns that stadium, Mayor?
It's the King's ownership, and Vivek Ranley is the biggest shareholder of all of that. Mm-hmm. So I would say, that's who it is. That's they not only is it the River Cats, but it's the land mm-hmm. that they own.
Would John Fisher, in your mind, would he have to sell the team in order for that to would Vivek conceively? And you don't want to speak for Vivek, but would he build?
I don't want to speak for any of that either.
Okay.
That's beyond. That's their business transaction that I can't
totally understand. I totally get it. As the mayor of West Sacramento, Martha Guerrero, joins us right now. This is fascinating. So let me ask you this. It still seems, and I know a lot of people are crossing their fingers this doesn't happen, but as of right now, it seems very likely, more likely than not, that the A's are going to come to West Sacramento, for 3 years, perhaps 4, and then move to Las Vegas and be permanent residents there. Now, full disclosure, I know Kevin Nagel very well, work with him. He's the owner of the Sacramento Republic, so I want to throw that out there, but he didn't tell me everything. I had to ask, knowing you were coming on. He has been working his tail off, that I can speak to, with many, to try to get a stadium for the Republic and many other uses, an outdoor stadium built, and the rail yards are obviously the place that it seems is most likely. But has there been any discussion with his group? Has there been any thought to soccer? Republic desperately need a stadium. Let's say baseball doesn't work, and maybe that's your first choice, but is this a type of plan that could be transferred from baseball-focused to maybe downsized and soccer-focused?
I at this point, don't have any comment on that. Okay. It's something that the landowners have to decide if that's something they're interested in doing. I wouldn't be able to speak on that.
And just from your point then, and again, I don't want to corner you. I totally understand that. You're not trying to speak on somebody else's business deal. Let me ask you from the mayor of West Sacramento standpoint. I understand if baseball would be your number one choice, just like football or the NBA. Would you be open, assuming, again, the A's are not able to stay here permanently, would you be open to a soccer-specific stadium being built in West Sacramento?
There's plenty of land to explore that option besides the Sutter House Park area. Gotcha. And I think that there's always a possibility to keep that option open and begin those discussions. So I think that it doesn't necessarily have to be where Sutter House Park is located. We have land in other areas of the city that, we can explore that option.
We'll end with this because you said something else that is kind of connected to sports, but it really caught my ear. It was about somebody asked about a river walk type environment. We have the American River, we have the Sacramento River. I've always, anyone who's been to San Antonio knows the river walk down there is absolutely gorgeous. And I want to make sure I understood this because I never really thought about it before. Was it you that said, or somebody else, is there a possibility that the rivers are just too strong for an infrastructure such as they have in San Antonio, or did I mishear that perhaps?
Well, I would think San Antonio is just, things are, we could make some things happen, but it would be a significant investment. Yeah. And that's what I was referring to, is the rivers are pretty strong. If you're going to take a look at making sure our levees are shored up, I'm focused on keeping the city safe. And that is, the river is pretty strong. You could possibly do something, but not exactly how San Antonio looks like. The river, we do have a boat dock that we've invested in. The city personally invested in, and we do have, I think, other options to do something similar to that. But what we'd like to see is, who would be interested in making that investment as well, in partnership with the city.
I'm in. I could do a bake sale. Good.
I wasn't given the chance. That kind of just came out. That question, when it was asked, I was like, we looked at San. I think the question was more of what is the possibility. And I said, I looked at San Antonio and,
sure.
But I think it's always a possibility to do where we have, good developers along the riverfront who have great ideas. It's just when we pencil it out, it gets to be really expensive, and they have to come up with a plan on how to build it and, invest in it.
Maybe a river jaunt, maybe something smaller, maybe not a walk.
There's always been a pedestrian bridge. We have the Broadway Bridge we have in our plan. We do need more bridges, and we're hoping to get that investment, at the federal level for the I Street Bridge, the new bridge. That's important for us. As you see, we're growing very big here, and we got a lot happening in West Sacramento.
No, great job. A's coming to town. We'll obviously be speaking to you again. I know it's a very exciting time over there, and I know you're incredibly busy. So we really appreciate your time and clearing some of that up. Obviously, we are we run the A's here, a lot of sports fans, and just wanted to make sure that our folks had an opportunity to hear what you were or were not cooking up with some friends. And it's exciting times in Sacramento. I appreciate the time.
Carmichael Dave, thank you for your time as well and letting me join you today.
All right. Have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks.
That is West Sacramento Mayor Martha Guerrero. Interesting stuff. We'll get to that later. We gotta move right along here as Greg Papa, the voice of the 49ers, joins us.